Naiwasaningaw na niba katara vakavinavinakata bula oya wasala vilawa ndo vataki yao mena viwa kina tini karona kaloko na singalebo ni moniti kina vakaromboka kako ni valatana no musini sari na kaisa moriendo loloma leo ni vani ni nau omgori kede mena viwa kina tini karona kaloko na singalebo ni moniti kina vakaromboka ena Bula FM number 2 ena sere.
I wake up in the morning, I prefer to go down to the gym, get a bit of physical work done. Also, later on in the day, I decide to go through for meditation. I do a bit of reading to find out what the latest songs are, a bit of research. And for me, it's all about the listeners.
Hey, what's up? I'm Rio, and this is the Traffic Jam every weekday from 3 o'clock to 7, only on Today FM. Today is hit music. What's up?
Tonight on FBC News, $5 million project to kickstart in Navua this week. NFA averts major fire. And we can do it, visually impaired call for equal job opportunities. Livinaka, you with FBC News, and I'm Amrita Priyadarshini. A major project to the tune of up to $5 million will kickstart in the heart of Navua town this week. The project belongs to B. Prasad and Sons, who are also owners of the building that currently houses courts and MHs in Navua. Roland Koroy tells us this project is expected to lift the image of the town.
The vulnerability of this little town to floods during heavy rain has had its toll in recent years, with most investors not wanting to take the risk. That hasn't stopped B. Prasad and Sons. What you see here is the beginning of what is to be a double-story shopping complex and Navua's very own wedding hall.
Part of the building will be taken by the MHS homemakers. They will be one of our major tenants. And the rest of the other shops that we're going to make, that will going to be for the other tenants that we have. And the top floor, that's going to be a wedding hall, a 3 wedding hall for Navua people.
Ashok Prasad says investors must recognize the potential in Navua. He's invested in this town since before 2010 and has become close with the Navua people.
When I started 3 years ago, the other building, I told people that, this is going to be a lot of job opportunities for the people of Navua, because that time there was a MH supermarket was there, and it was very small. Now in that the old complex that we have now, that is we got about people employed there is about somewhere around over 100 people.
Investing $5 million in a town that's constantly hit by floodwaters may look like a bold step, but it's one that B. Prasad and Sons are willing to take.
We have raised this building up from the road from road level to 1.2 meter. So we made higher, so the water doesn't goes into the building.
And this venture has been welcomed by the people of Navua. Jagnesh Rathod and his family have been doing business here for the last 30 years.
It's a great boost for us and for the people of Navua. It will create a lot of employment, and it's good that somebody is investing in a place such as Navua.
The groundbreaking ceremony for this multi-million-dollar complex takes place this week. Roland Koroy, FBC News.
A fire at the Manohan building at 4 miles in Nasinu last night partially destroyed a restaurant located at the ground floor of the building. The Valelevu and the Suva fire station crew arrived at the scene to find KMC engulfed in flames. Firefighters quickly extinguished the fire, stopping it from spreading to other businesses in the multi-story complex. The restaurant was closed at the time of the fire, and firefighters had to break the door and a window to gain access. The building also houses the Water Authority of Fiji headquarters, amongst other businesses. Investigations are underway to determine the cause of the fire. There should be more employment opportunities for the visually impaired. The United Blind Persons believe that they have the capability to perform any task a normal person can do. Epeli Tukuwasa reports.
Even though the Achalians
The visually impaired want equal treatment in everything, including the chance to work and earn a living instead of relying on others.
I think blind people are capable of doing work and can be employed according to what they can do, and not more than that.
Puspakaran is blind but strongly believes she deserves a chance to prove herself, adding that being blind must not be an excuse to deny her and those like her the right to employment.
You know, we are like you people, except we have, disabled, we are disabled, right? We work, we do work in the office, we do everything like you guys, but except that we cannot see with our eyes. Well, that doesn't make any difference.
The United Blind Persons is pushing for more employment opportunities, saying they are concerned with the low number of people with disabilities taken in by employers in Fiji.
At the moment, the idea disability employee disability is a program which is funded by the OSA, and the focus not that is employment opportunities.
The visually impaired believe they have a lot to offer, but their talent can only be unveiled if they are recruited into the workforce. Epili Tukuasa, FBC News.
Work on the Secretariat for the Pacific Island Development Forum, or the PIDF, gathers pace as the Fijian government yesterday granted diplomatic recognition to the Pacific's newest regional organization. In 2 Gazette notices published in the Government of Fiji Gazette, the Fijian government formally granted diplomatic status to the Pacific Island Development Forum as an international organization under the Diplomatic Privileges and Immunities Act 1971. The publication formalizes the international status of the PIDF under Fijian laws and ensures the organization receives the same diplomatic privileges similar to other organizations operating in Fiji. During the inaugural meeting of the PIDF earlier this year, the meeting approved the establishment of a secretariat. Work on the secretariat building is well underway at 56 Domain Road, and the refurbishment is expected to be completed by the end of the year. The controversy surrounding the sale of locally manufactured marine ply seems to be deeper than what it seems. As Mika Longa finds out, the problem is not only about the quality of timber used, but alleged deliberate bad business practices and the lack of legislation and surveillance by relevant authorities.
Recent consultations between the Department of Forests and relevant industry players reaffirmed that the marine ply manufactured locally are of Australian standard. However, the veneer used is still not suitable for marine use. The marine ply that they manufacture, would we classify in our standards a marine ply that's suitable to be used here?
No. To us in Fiji, no. They should not use this as marine plywood. Only if it's treated, then we can classify it as marine plywood.
But they continue to sell it as marine ply?
Yes.
Recent investigations by the policing authority found that the sale of the marine ply have been allegedly misleading.
What we are trying to do now is to stop the manufacturers use the mark, the stamp on the plyboards, so that no plywood, marine plywood is sold around the country.
What is it about the stamp?
The stamp is that it's written marine plywood.
So do you find that misleading?
Yeah, it's really misleading to the customers, especially you and me. We are the buyers. It's really misleading because the timber, the plywood is not durable in seawater when you use it for boat building.
Could you say it was a deliberate act on their part to do this?
Yes, I can say it's a deliberate part.
The Forestry Department had admitted it wasn't prepared for such a scenario, meaning there isn't a legislation to stop the sale of the locally manufactured marine ply, thus allowing it to go on unnoticed.
Yes, that's what the Forestry Department is trying to do, to get set up legislation so that this one is stopped.
All the department can do now is advise manufacturers to use the right timber for marine ply production.
The best advice to them now is not to buy marine plywood anywhere in any outlets around the country, because they are not durable to seawater, so they should not use that. Marine plywood, that mark, marine plywood, to purchase that one from any distributor around the country for boat building.
Do we have any other plywoods that we classify as marine plywood that can be used for marine use?
No. There's no marine plywood in Fiji can be used as marine plywood. There's no marine plywood around the country.
This issue was first highlighted by this man who has taken one of the suppliers to court. While policymakers scratch their head on the issue, the best we can do is to adhere to the advice and hope for some real action. Mikalonga, FBC News.
A locally produced kava beverage will soon be in the market. Takimai, which will be available in 118 milliliter bottles, is manufactured by owners of an international company with links to the old capital of Levuka. The company has been in talks with the Agriculture Ministry and the Secretariat of the Pacific Community recently on certain commercial issues. Takimai will be sold in assorted fruit flavors, mainly targeting airlines as an in-flight beverage. Still to come on FBC News, getting men more involved in family health affairs.
Now that's just another groove to kickstart your morning.
That's right. Good morning, Fiji. It's Gold FM bringing you the classic hits to fine-tune your morning.
And Fila still trying to fine-tune her voice.
And as always, Pedali still trying to wake up.
Now this is where you'll find us every morning from Monday to Friday.
On Daybreak with Pedali and Fina from 6 to 9. Join us.
जहाँ हो प्यार का बसेरा और रिश्तों की खुशबू, वो है आपका अपना घर संसार. Join me on घर संसार, Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. till 12 p.m. only on Radio Fiji 2.
Welcome back to FBC News. Fijian Foreign Minister Ratu Inoke Kumbombola presented several bilateral issues to his Japanese counterpart Fumio Kishida last week. The first was the proposed visit to Japan by Fiji's Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama as the minister responsible for the sugar industry. Ratu Inoke says that as part of Fiji's sugar reforms, the visit next year would allow a delegation to observe the Okinawa sugar industry. He also requested on behalf of Fiji the early conclusion of an investment agreement, which is critical to increasing trade and investment between the two countries. The Nandi River realignment project was again raised with Minister Kishida to underscore its critical importance to Fiji. It was agreed that Japan will send a mission to Fiji in February 2014 to finalize the feasibility study for the Nandi River realignment project. This was the first bilateral meeting between both ministers since Japan's led government came into power in 2012. Diwali is a festival of lights, and most of you are buying the best lights, diya and candles to decorate your homes. But before you light up your house this Diwali, pay heed to this advice from authorities. Ritika Pratap reports.
No major mishaps have been recorded in the past few years during Diwali, and the National Fire Authority aims to maintain that record.
Always we seek the support of the members of the community. There will be a lot of cooking, a lot of candles, a lot of diya, a lot of electrical decorations, and all these lights and everything which are ignition sources increases the risk of fire.
The NFA says people can't afford to be negligent and must keep an eye on their children as well.
Playing with firecrackers to supervise them, and not to direct these firecrackers at properties but in open spaces.
John O'Connor says just like previous years, NFA teams will be on standby.
Teams are always on alert. During the night we usually ask our teams to patrol just to be nearer to residents in case there's a fire that starts.
People have been urged not to overload the power board while decorating their houses with colored lights this Diwali. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
There's still a lot more commitment needed from men to fully engage themselves in family health affairs. This was noted while creating awareness on cervical cancer and the need for men to start paying more attention. Akasita Tale with more.
Initiatives have been conducted to engage men as responsible partners in family health, family planning, maternal child health, cervical cancer battles, and many others.
It is materializing, but it is materializing very slowly. So we really need to have a little bit more push on this. And we really need to have ambassadors. Men need to come up and stand up front and talk to other men
so that they can change in terms of their perception on women's health. Right?
Many times this is only left to women. However, with education and awareness, some men have been able to change their mindsets.
Now we see MCH clinics with some men sitting in. Now you can see the antenatal clinic with some men sitting with women. Before it was odd to see some person like me to be sitting in the antenatal clinic with my wife during the clinic. It's a no place for men. So now it's changing.
Men need to be more proactive at all levels when it comes to education, and there needs to be more emphasis placed on this.
Men still need to be educated a lot more on women's health issues, on the women's physics, on the women's even menstruation cycle, and all this. Most men don't know this, and you know, they will appreciate even if they are given an inch of information.
Moses Mbase says he believes that if these messages are not properly highlighted or raised in awareness and education programs, men may become victims of their own lack of knowledge. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
Koro has been identified by government as a major contributor to the increase in agricultural production in Fiji. Government has estimated an increase of 5.2% in crop production until December this year, and Koro farmers have a big role in lifting Fiji's agricultural achievements. To further boost crop production in Koro, government has renovated the agricultural office in Koro, which was opened recently by Permanent Secretary for Provincial Development, Felipe Aliferretti. The new office will improve service delivery to farmers on the island. Tiki Nadawa and Mundu were applauded by government for their contribution to sustain the overseas market. Sports is after the break, and local hockey players meet top international coach.
How would you like to spend your morning? You could spend your morning like this. Or you could spend it like this.
Tune in to the Morning Ride every weekday morning from 9 a.m. till 12 p.m. right here on Today FM, Today's Hit Music.
सूरज की पहली किरण के साथ दिन की शुरुआत कीजिए। सुबह का मंगल प्रभात आपको शुभ हो। सुबह सुबह हो खुशियों का मेला, ना लोगों की परवाह ना दुनिया का झमेला, पंछियों का संगीत हो और मौसम अलबेला। मुबारक हो आपको ये खूबसूरत सवेरा। हर सोमवार से लेकर शुक्रवार तक सुबह 6 से लेकर 9 बजे तक शामिल रहें रेडियो फिजी 2 पर हम सफर में रवीन सिंह के साथ।
The Rugby League World Cup got underway this morning in England, but not in the fashion that home fans were hoping for. The Australian Kangaroos upstaged the Poms on their home turf to win by a close 28-20 margin. The Aussies collected 5 tries to England's 4. Both teams are grouped with the Vodafone Fiji Mbati and Ireland in Pool A. Now, meanwhile, in the other match played today, Wales lost to the ever-improving Italy side 32-16. Papua New Guinea plays France tomorrow, while New Zealand plays Samoa. 2 of the country's biggest volleyball associations will go head-to-head in a special tournament like never seen before. The tournament will be named Battle of the Champions competition and will see the 2 rival teams battle it out. This is in line with plans to give their players stiffer competition as well as develop their junior players. Games will be played out from the under-15 age category right through to the veterans and open categories.
Virtually Railway's got all the trophies in the national competitions. So yeah, we had meetings, and virtually that will go on. Maybe at the end of early December, early next year, before the World Cup competitions. That competition will be from under 15, under 17, under 21, under 19, and 21. We have a development side. We have a veteran competition. That will be a development competition together with an open category. So that will be something to look forward to for both associations.
Local hockey players took time out today to learn from former Netherlands coach Bert Bunig, who is in the country for a 1-week coaching clinic. Players were taken through step-by-step procedures on the basics of the game. Chalendao Dakadaka reports.
Local hockey players braved the hot sun today to learn from one of the game's leading coach. Bert Bunig is a former mentor for the Netherlands and has also coached Spain and Pakistan to 2 Olympic Games. He says fitness would need to be improved to complement their skills on the turf.
Then of course there is a lot we have to improve. Basic skills, reception skills, scanning skills, physical components. Everybody has to become really fit to compete for the World Series.
The Dutchman also believes the key to improving our national rankings is regular international matches.
I think Fiji has potential to improve on the world ranking, at least close to 30. There are about 80-85 man teams in the world now, so that's quite good. But you need to play, you need to train, because all the countries on the top ranking, they more or less train and play 5 times a week. And that's not the case in Fiji now.
The coaching tips were well received by the players who are bent on improving their game.
In the local coaching sessions, we just go straight into the games and expect to build up from there. Whereas today we learned from the starting. I think that is a really good opportunity.
Basically, it's teaching us about the basics of hockey, stopping, passing, and communication with the ball and the person, teammates.
Banik will spend the coming week conducting special clinics to schools and clubs before departing for India on Friday. Tsalendo Dakadak, FBC Sports.
Lautoka defeated Suva in the final of the men's and mixed netball inter-district championship in the Sugar City yesterday. The Blues repeated their 2007 feat where they claimed all the titles on offer in the men's, mixed and under-23 categories. Also participating in the tournament was the Australian Institute side, who made a return to the competition after a lapse of 6 years. The Aussies were using the competition as a development tour for their players.
We just played Nandi, but we played Lautoka throughout the week. Very hard matches. We lost our first one, practice match, and we had our whole squad playing, and we won the last time that we played them. So it was very good competition. Different skills.
Apart from some afternoon showers in Suva today, it was generally fine in all major centres. Looking at the temperatures, Lambasa is joined by Westerners Ba, Lautoka and Nandi at the top of the temperature chart tonight, with 31 degrees at 4 this afternoon. Suva and Savasavu both experienced cool weather today, both having 29 degrees each. And fine weather is forecasted for tomorrow. Looking beyond into midweek, fine weather should prevail. That's your news for tonight, but before I go, the headlines again. $5 million project to kickstart in Navua this week. NFA averts major fire at Manohan building in Nasinu. And We Can Do It, a visually impaired call for equal job opportunities. To the poll question now. And remember, this is your last chance to have your say for this week's question, which is: can the Vodafone Fiji Bati reach the final of the Rugby League 2013 final? Visit www.fbc.com.fj to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos. Email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj. That's citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj. Now you have yourselves a productive week ahead, and don't forget, we're into daylight savings already. Good night.
Oh, kayak bola-bola cuma tahu kau itu mam. Oh, gua nggak usah nih lanangan itu mam. Nimbula, ayo Mr. Ben.
Lapa?
Na magikiro manolo kinedyo na bima taka moni chiki na fagarumbuka.
Na Bula FM. Na madua na selling.
Nisa bulu binaka, oya wane kamanalangi, oni nandorungo diao, may nadiwa kinarua na bisinga, may namoni tikina pagarumbuka na Radio Fiji 1